Welcome back. Well, you have Chinese data that's flashing for you on the screen. The July imports is up by close to around 7%. Exports as well up close to around 7%. But the export number actually is a little bit lower than what the street was working with out there. The estimate was for a 9.5% jump out there. So data points still missing estimates in the Chinese economy. Well, let's get stock specific. Then we have Deven Choksey, the MD of DRChoksey Finserv, who joins us on the show. Hi, Deven. Good morning and good to see you. Well, we've already discussed real estate, so I'll keep that aside. But let's talk about Lupin. Those numbers look rather good. The US as well as the India businesses, both of them grew quite well. What's your view of the stock at around this 1900 rupee mark?
And Nigel, good morning. Well, I think in line with most of the pharma companies, including likes of Cipla, likes of Sun Pharma, I think the numbers are reported by the pharma companies are on a reasonably better side. Lupin did give the indication last quarter as well about the products, I think, which are basically fetching the better price value realization from the generic basket. Typically, the specialty generic products, I think, which they have been talking about. And I believe, I think that has started playing its role in the results in this quarter as well. So from a perspective of looking at the company afresh at current levels, I would think that I think whatever the pain that this company had, I think in last 2 years or 2.5 years, I think those pains are out of way now. And probably, I think the things are looking better, given the kind of the price advantage that they are having with specialty generic products portfolio that they are basically launching one after another. I would think that I think this is possibly, I think, a sign of stable price regime hereafter. And maybe I think some amount of buying can happen with outlook on around 15 to 20% kind of an upside possible at current levels.
Okay, that's a take on Lupin. Deven, great to have you on. Lots of other interesting numbers after market hours as well. Bata continues to be a little weak, but PI Industries looks very promising now. The recovery seems to be intact. There was Cummins as well. Just any broad thoughts on any of these stocks that you may track?
So, good morning, sir. The PI industry looks, I think, relatively more stable to us, I think, from a perspective of looking at this company. The earlier situation of customers, I think, moving slow in lifting the products and I think placing orders, I think that is now past. And that's where probably I think the company is relatively better placed. As such, the model remains, I think, extremely strong and convincing with the API business that they are basically operating. And I believe that I think the business outlook, along with I think the input costs remaining at a comfortably lower level, should remain positive. On one side, I think the top line, at the same time, the profit margin. Both these areas, I believe that I think this company is likely to perform better going forward as well. So I think once again, in this case, so I think the past of I think the higher cost in the books is now over, and as a result of which, I think you are likely to see the better margin-led growth in the performance of the company. So we remain strong on the possibilities as far as PI industry is concerned.
Any thoughts on Suzlon? Deven, there is that acquisition. Stock's done phenomenally well. And now they're expanding their wings, right? I think it's the first acquisition in a long, long time in the new avatar.
Yeah, Prashant, good morning. Well, I believe that I think most importantly, as you rightly mentioned, in the new avatar, the balance sheet is now supporting the company. In past, I think they had a challenge on that front as well. Now, with the balance sheet, I think, coming along, and the company is basically receiving a higher amount of order, the visibility also is quite decent out there. At the same time, I think the government's, the regulations, particularly, I think, on the power tariff, is now basically becoming more stable. So as a result of which, I think this company is likely to continue with higher performance on a corrected balance sheet or a repaired balance sheet, as we want to call it as. From that perspective, I think we like this company from investment also. Maybe I think most of it is in price as of now. If market use some kind of correction, that would be, I think, an advantage to buy into these portfolio.
All right, Deven, we'll leave it on that note. Shorter chat today, but thank you very much for joining in. We do have to take a very quick break. Asian markets are looking in fine form. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get in our technical experts, Mitesh as well as Sudarshan, to discuss some trading bets.